It's been nearly 20 years since a young Pat Riley guided one of the greatest teams in the history of the NBA. The Showtime Lakers were the team of the 80s. A new decade arrived, and with it, a new dynasty. Phil Jackson brought Tex Winter's triangle offense to Chicago. And Michael Jordan brought everything else. Jackson's Bulls won the NBA titles 6 times in 8 seasons. That was the 90s. As for now, new decade, same coaches, new team, same goal. The Miami Heat and the LA Lakers next.
This is the NBA on NBC. Today, it's the Miami Heat versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers, who earlier this season had a 16-game winning streak, have now reeled off 14 in a row, and lately they've been beating the best the league has to offer. Earlier this week, they defeated Portland in Portland. The Trailblazers had won 11 in a row at that point. So in the Pacific, the Lakers have a lead of a game and a half. Utah, the leaders in the Midwest, would get the 2nd seed at the beginning of the playoffs if the playoffs were to begin today. Indiana came in here on Friday night at the Staples Center, and the Lakers pummeled them. Now another of the league's elite teams comes in. For today's game, Miami is the leader in the Atlantic and 2 back of the Pacers for the best record overall in the Eastern Conference. With Doug Collins, I'm Bob Costas, and today not only a matchup of top teams, but of top centers.
Well, Bob, I think what you have is the MVP of the West right now versus the MVP of the East. And we know Shaquille O'Neal and what he has done for this Los Angeles Lakers team this year, and Alonzo Mourning and his presence there for the Miami Heat. The power of Shaquille going to the basket, more important, his shot blocking and defense. And Zoe brings the same thing with passion to this Miami Heat team. You see the shot block, the league's best defenses, 2 of the league's best centers. Now, Alonzo playing a little bit of a gimpy ankle right now, so we'll have to see how that goes today, but they need a big game from him.
He has missed their last 3 games. They won 2 of them. He will start today. Now, Shaq has help. There's another all-star starter on the Laker roster. That, of course, is Kobe Bryant. And though he's averaging nearly 23 points a game, he's really been most impressive of late when the Lakers don't have the ball.
Well, he's been tremendous on the defensive end, and he's done it against small, quick, penetrating guards. And you see the guys that he's played in this stretch, and the job he's done on this has been really amazing. The other night, you talk about Stoudemire from Portland, Francis from Houston, Kerry Kittles, the speedy guard from New Jersey, and Allen Iverson. We've seen the job, but today, he's going to be matched up against Tim Hardaway. Not the speed, not the quickness, but this guy is very, very smart. He shoots 41% from the three-point line, and Kobe is going to have to do a good job on him. He runs this Miami Heat team, Bob.
All right, well, we have a chance before we check the lineups and have the opening tip. Let's check with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Today is the clash of the Titans with Alonzo Mourning and Shaquille O'Neal, as you've mentioned earlier, 2 of the top MVP candidates in the league. And I talked to Shaquille O'Neal about it. He said that he has so much respect for Alonzo Mourning. He said Alonzo is the best, but when you play the best, it brings the best out in you. As far as Alonzo's concerned, he's had those injuries that you guys just spoke about, but he did practice yesterday. That his ankle was a little sore this morning, but Alonzo is a warrior. He is taped, he is ready, and he's ready to go. Bob?
Ahmad, we're just about ready to go as well. We'll step aside for some commercial messages, check with Hannah Storm once more in New York, and then come back to the Staples Center for the Lakers and the Heat. The Heat have been battered by injuries. That seems to have been their story the last couple of years. With the exception of P.J. Brown, who hasn't missed a game in 2 years, they've all been out for significant stretches. Hardaway has missed about half the season to this point. Mashburn, Mourning, and Marley have all been out for extended periods. Mourning missed the last 3 games, and the lineup, which has been pretty consistent for the Lakers.
Bob, I think when you look at this game today, 2 keys for the Miami Heat. First of all, they must win the battle of the boards. When the Lakers out-rebound their opponents, they're 37-1. Secondly, Miami, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. I think they need 21-plus points from behind that 3-point line to win today.
And although we have a Mourning-O'Neal matchup, a good portion of the time, P.J. Brown is going to guard Shaq.
Well, and you're going to see a lot of cross-matching because Alonzo loves to run. And it's going to be tough for Shaquille to change into the floor with him. And he's going to try to run out and get some easy scores so he doesn't have to play so much in the half court against him.
Here's Kobe. Marley trying to contend with him and can't.
He's playing with such great confidence. Kobe was tremendous in Portland the other night after getting in foul trouble, and his level of play is just continuing to pick up.
Harper, who guarded Hardaway in several important playoff games in the past. Hardaway, the fadeaway over him, and he connects.
Now, Harper will just try to use his size against Hardaway, force him to shoot the ball, get a hand up. As you said, Bobby did a good job when he was with Chicago in the matchups against the Miami Heat in the playoffs.
It is Zoe on Shaq, but with help from Hardaway, he finds Harper, and the Lakers have a 4-2 lead. O'Neal with the assist. That's not a rarity. He passes so well out of the double and out of the post in general.
Well, I think the system is such for him now. He's touching that ball so much more that he's willing to give it up sooner, and he's doing a great job of it.
Mourning ties it at 4. Neither team has missed a shot. The Laker defense in this 14-game winning streak has really been what's keyed their great play. No team has hit triple digits against them in this streak. Rice and a whistle. The game's first. The officials are Bennett Salvatore, Greg Willard, and Sean Corbin.
Alonzo Mourning must use his quickness today. He cannot just mash it down against Shaq. So what he does, he takes that inside reverse pivot, creates distance, and is able to step back and shoot that little jump shot. If you close on him, Bob, that's when he uses his quickness and puts it on the floor to get to the basket.
Between breaking his nose and then injuring his ankle, he had a stretch while battered where he made 19 consecutive field goals.
Well, this guy is an unbelievable competitor. I went in and talked to him before the game. You know what he said to me? He said, you know what? Forget about my face and my nose or whatever. If there's nothing wrong with my legs, I can run, I can play it. That other stuff doesn't bother me. And that's why he's established himself as such a wonderful player in this league, to go with his talent.
Here's Mashburn, who had 29 Thursday against Seattle. Poked away, and he recovers it and then loses it on his own.
When we talked to Pat Riley, he said one of the things we can't do early is turn the ball over. We got to get off to a good start. That's what you call an unforced error.
Shaq in the paint, bounces off Zoe, gets his own rebound, can't stop that. But the officials can. Offensive foul.
Shaq is so quick off his feet, he misses the shot, but look how quickly he goes back forward, and there he dislodges with that left shoulder, and you say, boy, that looks just like a bump. But when it comes from a 330-pound guy, that's a blow.
Alonzo Mourning at 6'10", listed at 260, a 260-pound man giving away 70 pounds to his opponent. Foul there on Harper. Hardaway. It went over the glass. It's Laker ball. Let's check with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. You know, I was talking to Shaq before the game. He said that his shooting percentage has really been bad around the basket, little gimme shots. And I asked him what was the problem. He said he has a real bad right shoulder, which really caused him a lot of problems when he extends his right arm. And then you saw him miss a little gimme shot early on. He said he heard it before the season started, but he's just trying to play through it. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Rice for 3. He's off. And Mourning clears it. Here comes Hardaway, once one of the league's best in the open court. He's been slowed by injuries over the past few years. Riley says candidly he'll never be the player he was completely ever again. He'll never be 100%, but he's still better than most, even when hobbled.
Well, when we talked about Hardaway yesterday, he pointed to his head and he said, you know what, he's playing thinking basketball now. He's not necessarily beating you with the quickness. He's making the plays. He's running our team. Everything I want him to do.
And a whistle before he can deliver the pass. Offensive foul on the Heat.
Bob, in that previous possession, Mashburn had a mismatch against Shaq. Shaq was playing him on the perimeter, and he had it. All he had to do was take a little 15-foot jump shot. He held the ball until they ran and doubled him and kicked it out. The ball was knocked out of bounds. It led to a turnover. Mashburn has to take that shot.
That was P.J. Brown's second foul. It sends him to the bench early and brings on Clarence Weatherspoon. Now,
Weatherspoon has been playing great, Bob. The problem is he's 6'6" as a power forward, so they lose a lot of size. Pick up offense, but they lose size defensively.
Bryant, a great look at a 3. And another assist for Shaq. Mashburn, Bryant over on the double, and a Los Angeles foul. It's on Rice, his first.
The game is very easy when you play it from the inside out. The ball goes into the post. Miami has to double team. You kick it out to Kobe. Great spacing. Jumps up and he knocks in the three.
Mashburn out to Marley for three. Thunder Dan.
Inside, outside. Bob, you're taught defensively when that ball gets inside as a defender, you drop to the level of the ball. When you do that, the perimeter is open.
Shaq got inside Mourning.
It's amazing. He makes Zoe look like a little guy out on the floor. Just dwarfs him.
Mourning over Shaq. Harper takes the rebound.
Nobody on the boards at all, though, to get a second shot.
AC Green looking for Shaq, and a 3-second violation. The big guy was in there too long.
In the triangle offense, you see a lot of coming from the weak side with a little bump screen. Shaq gets deep post position. When you get it there, it's too late. The next time down the floor, in the lane too long, a 3-second violation. Shaq really trying to get as many paint catches as he can here early.
Weatherspoon doesn't get the roll. And AC Green playing in consecutive game number 1,087, extending his league record. Pulls down the rebound. Rice is doubled, thought he was fouled, and the officials agree. It's on Hardaway. It's Tim's first. Pat Riley says of Hardaway, I know which guys I jump into a foxhole with, and Tim Hardaway is one of those guys.
I've never coached him, but I get in that same foxhole. I've watched him play through the years, Bob, and he will give you everything he has.
The field goal by Rice, his first. He had a free throw earlier. He scored 3. And it's Mashburn who brings the Heat back to within 3 at 12-9.
Great offense. Get the double team, kick it back out, and throw it right back into the post.
Harper. And he drills a 3.
That's when Pat Riley just goes, uh-oh. If he's going to start making those threes, we're in trouble.
Mourning step back, and he was fouled. Clock stops with 6:49 to play in the first. Lakers by 6.
DC is brought to you by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. And by Nike.
Lakers lead by 6, 6:49 to go in the first quarter. And Bob, when you look at this Miami Heat team, it's interesting. They've had some good wins, what I consider on the road here at New York, Philly, Portland, Sacramento. Very good wins. But when you look at their bad losses, teams that they should not lose to, this really jumps out at you. And remember, they're only 2 behind in the loss column in the Eastern Conference. Look at these losses. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 losses there. Hardaway said we should have won 5 of those games. If that's the case, they've got a 3-game lead and the best record in the Eastern Conference. I wonder if this will come back to haunt them come playoff time.
Riley's team broke from the gate 11-3, so they were 8 over at that point after 14 games. Since then, they're 8 over 500 at 26-18. And they've lost 11 of their last 14 road games. It's been a tough week for them. On Monday at home, without Mourning, they overcame a 20-point deficit to beat their arch rival, the Knicks. Went on the road for a back-to-back the next night and lost at San Antonio. Went back the other way to Miami to beat Seattle on Thursday night, then came across the country to play here today.
Tough stretch, but Riley said, you know what, you got to play him. You can't think about it, but still, it takes its toll on the players, that kind of travel.
O'Neal banks it home.
When you get that deep, there's nothing Zoe can do. And Zoe is strong, but Shaq just sort of turns that left shoulder and powers it right into the basket.
Mourning screens for Hardaway. who dumps it inside to Weatherspoon, who's hammered.
Bob, you talked about Miami on the road. Now, through the years, they've been a very good road team. Look at 97, 32-9. But look how that number's starting to go down. That starts to show, really, the quality of your team, that the Miami Heat are slipping a little bit. With age, as Tim Hardaway's been banged up, as they've had some things go through the organization, when you have struggles to win on the road, that means you're not as good a team. And when you look at the Eastern Conference, you would think they'd be winning more because you have some very weak teams over there right now.
No question, the bulk of the league's strength is in the West. More quality teams out here than in the East. The foul a moment ago on AC Green was his second, and it brings Robert Horry off the bench to replace him. Lakers by 5. Here's Glen Rice. Tough pull-up on the baseline, and the Lakers start out sizzling. They've hit 8 of their first 10 field goal attempts.
So he just got to take that shot. He's going to try to drive it in there and kick to the 3, but now he's going to have a tougher shot than what he started out with.
And he misses the jump hook. Kobe out of the double to the cutting Horry. Now Shaq, and look out below.
The Lakers are really passing the ball so beautifully right now. Getting the ball in the post, double teaming, good cutters. Right now playing tremendous basketball, unselfishly as a team.
Mourning.
That's the shot he just passed up their previous possession. Don't go away from what's working.
Harper overthrows Shaq, and Hardaway takes it. Mashburn can't hit the 3. Shaq's pass knocked away by Marley and taken by Mourning. Hardaway brings it back. Shaq comes out on Mashburn. They swing it around to Hardaway, who can't knock home the 3, but Mourning gives them a fresh 24. Weatherspoon wide open baseline.
That's his shot. He's a very, very good medium range shooter, so Shaq's going to have to come out and cover that.
E.J. Brown watching from the bench. 2 quick fouls sent him there. Harper, another 3. This time, no. And Weatherspoon finally takes it.
Miami would like to get some easy baskets, Bob. They feel against this Laker team, they've got to get something early against that clock.
Hardaway behind the back to Mourning, who can't knock it down. Horry pegs it ahead to the streaking Shaq. Marley fouls him, and it doesn't drop. Could have been a 3-point play.
Ahmad would know what a tight end looked like. I don't know, Ahmad. I don't know if I'd like to see him coming at me in the open field. Shaq, 7'2", 350 pounds, outrunning your defensive backs here for the long pass. This is sort of scary when you think this man has this kind of agility.
Look at him go to the left hand, too. By the way, did he gain 20 pounds with some pregame protein shakes? We had him at 330 a few minutes ago. Now he's up to 350.
And you know what, the way he's playing, he's going to be 400 pounds before this game is over. At least what Miami's going to be thinking. I don't know how much he weighs, Bob, but it's amazing the athletic ability this man has. And you see the concentration and how hard he's worked to step up and deliver these free throws. That was the difference in the Portland game the other night. 9 of 13 from the line, and a couple of them in critical situations.
Weatherspoon brings it back and gets the bounce. The Lakers as a team in that win up in Portland made 22 of 27, and their reserves outscored the vaunted Portland bench.
Yeah, this bench has really come on. I think that's the thing that's getting LA excited here, is the fact they're starting to develop an identity with their bench team.
Shaq. Line drive rebound to Horry. Rice for 3. And Mashburn clears it. Not for long. Here's Harper.
You cannot be careless coming out on the dribble. You've got to understand someone's going to be running in behind you. A very careless mistake by Mashburn that cost his team 2 points. Those are the kind of mistakes you cannot make against this Laker team.
Riley's team is outmanned when you look at it objectively. They're playing on the road against a tough streaking team. You can't afford turnovers. You have to have the opportunity plays go your way. And thus far for Miami, they haven't. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Dominance of Shaquille O'Neal here on this team, and especially in this triple post offense where he's catching that ball. Gets great low post position here with the slam dunk. Nothing you can do. This time he reads the double team, kicks it out. Kobe measures it and hits a 3. Repost, gets himself good position. Look, he's got that 1 foot in the paint. Too late for Alonzo. Now look at the 2 big men run as they fight for position on early offense. These 2 guys are playing with such energy and passion. You can see they both bring out the best in each other.
Alonzo Mourning called by his coach, Pat Riley, the best defensive center since Bill Russell. Very high praise. He was the defensive player of the year a year ago, and again leads the league in blocks. That one stripped away from Weatherspoon by Bryant. Harper into the paint for a little hook that's good.
Now see, there's Ron Harper, a big guard, posting up. The Heat's power forward. That's the difference. That's the smallness of Weatherspoon in the post. That's how they missed P.J. Brown.
Harper has 9. Weatherspoon with a nice dish to Mourning.
He's a better offensive player, but he's undersized as a power forward. So when P.J. Brown got in foul trouble, that really hurts their interior defense. But Weatherspoon is playing the best ball he's played all year right now for the Miami Heat.
2 minutes remaining in a fast-paced first period, and Glen Rice knocks one down.
You got 2 of the league's best defenses, and right now the offenses are both in a great flow. This is a free-flowing game, and both teams shooting the ball well.
Mourning working on Shaq, who fouled him. That's number 2 on O'Neal. Speaking of this matchup in which Mourning gives away so much size, this is Brian Shaw checking in for the first time for the Lakers, and Harper goes out. Mourning is undersized in many center matchups, and that's what impresses Riley all the more, because he says so much of what he does on effort. And when you consider his rebounding totals, and then consider that in light of how many shots he blocks and contests to get back to the glass for those rebounds, is impressive as well. John Sally with an early appearance. That's a rarity. Shaq to the bench with 2 fouls, 1:44 to play in the first, and you can log on to MSNBCSports.com to cast your vote on which teams will meet in the finals. Plus, Bill Walton analyzes a possible Laker-Blazer playoff showdown and an inside look at what makes Vince Carter so amazing. MSNBCSports.com, the official website of NBC Sports. Hold on, says Bennett Salvatore. This one's on Hardaway. That's his second.
Now you said why John Sally early today, maybe not Travis Knight, who has been playing more off the bench. I think it's because Sally's a bigger, stronger player than Travis Knight. He has to play against Alonzo. If he takes some fouls, it will not hurt their team. Travis Knight can play against the leaner, thinner guys where he doesn't get banged around. Sally's got a little bit more weight to him.
Marley goes out. Bruce Bowen in. Anthony Carter replaces Hardaway in the backcourt. Carter, number 25, is the rookie out of Hawaii who played well when Hardaway was hurt. Rice into a crowd and drawing a whistle.
Well, Bruce Bowen is a terrific defensive player. He came in the other night against the New York Knicks, did a great job against Sprewell and Allen Houston when they came from 20 down. Also hit a big 3 in the corner to help seal that game. And a game which Riley told me yesterday was one of his biggest wins and most fun wins of his career when his team came back without Zoe.
Rice hits the first, giving him 8 points.
Well, if you take a look at Glen Rice's numbers, obviously his points are down because he's the 3rd option on this team, but he's still such a vital part of this team. Now his field goal percentage is down because he's not posting as much. He's not playing as much around the basket. He's doing much more from the perimeter, shooting the basketball, so he doesn't get as many easy baskets as he once got when he was with Charlotte.
Looking back to '97 on that graphic, when he was the MVP of the All-Star game, he was averaging 26, 27 points a game. With this group, and with that lower shooting percentage, down to 16 a game. Alonzo over Sally, no good. The rebound to Bryant. Here's Derek Fisher. Rice with the jumper. He's in double figures before the first period ends.
See, as Shaq sits down, he becomes more of a vital part of their offense. It's now he and Kobe that will be the key factors now as we close out this quarter.
And the Lakers are up by a dozen. Alonzo with the turnaround that won't go. The rebound taken by Weatherspoon, and he slams it home.
And Spoon got away with him on that time. He gave Robert Horry a nice little shove in the back. Gives him a chance to cut it to 10.
And he's given Riley a lift off the bench with 8 points. Rice cutting to the hoop. 13 for him in this first quarter.
Well, the awareness, he knows that Zoe's coming over to block that shot. The little pump fake got him off his feet, laid the ball in the basket.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. Heat holding for the period's last shot. Carter lost it. Shaq has it. Bryant comes streaking out. He'll beat the buzzer with the slam. I said Shaq got it to him. It was actually Sally, although John will thank me for confusing him with Shaq. In any case, the guy who finished it with an exclamation point was Kobe. Lakers by 14 after 1, and this is the NBA on NBC.
Way too much for Miami to try to win this kind of game, and they're doing it again with the big three, the top scoring trio in the NBA. You see what these three guys do on the season. 66 points, 67% of their team's offense, and again, they're the top scoring trio in the league. But what have they done today? Well, they have 28 of the 37 points, which is 76% of their offense, and Ron Harper has the other 9. But Bob, they're doing it with their defense. They're getting back to running their offense to perfection. They are playing great basketball right now, and scary part is, can they continue this into the playoffs? Are they peaking too soon or whatever? I mean, they're playing great basketball right now.
Well, you decide what this portends, but in the last 30 years, 7 NBA teams have had 2 winning streaks of 12 or more in the same season. All of them won the NBA title except the '97 Utah Jazz, who got to the finals before losing to Chicago. The Lakers earlier won 16 in a row. Now they're working on 14 straight with a leg up on 15 as Mashburn begins the second quarter with a swish.
Bob, look at the Heat lineup out there right now. They have Zoe out there basically with Mashburn and Weatherspoon. Those 3 guys are going to have to score because their back court are defenders, Bowen and Carter. So those 3 guys are going to have to take over on the front line to get them back in this game.
And Sally is still in with Shaq on the bench with the 2 fouls, and there's a foul on Weatherspoon trying to guard Bryant. And let's check with Ahmad.
Thanks, Bob. You guys are talking about these winning streaks during the course of the season. I talked to Ron Harper before the game and asked him sort of to compare this team with Chicago's team and the winning streaks. He said, Ahmad, I'm going to tell you like Michael Jordan told me, the only winning streak that counts is the one you have in June. He said, and that's what I'm trying to tell these guys on this team. Bob?
How well Shaquille O'Neal, for one, knows that, Ahmad. In 5 of the last 6 years, Shaq's teams were swept out of the playoffs, and the other time they lost 4-1. So in the final series in which he's played, either in Orlando or Los Angeles, his teams are 1-24 over the last 6 years. Just trying to beat the shot clock. That one's way off. Bowen on the wing. Bryant went up to contest it, got a piece of the ball, but also a piece of the body.
Let's check the numbers during the first 16-game winning streak, of which Indiana finished up for them when they were playing there in Conseco Fieldhouse. Look what their numbers were in that streak. And now in this one, opponents' points are down, field goal percentage down, point differential is up. And, you know, I think, Bob, the amazing thing for me is, you know, they had the game in here against Houston last week. Right before Portland, they took care of business. They got out. They got the game over with early. They go up to Portland, emotional game. They come back. They've got Vancouver. Possible letdown. Their bench comes in and really wins that game for them. Then Indiana shows up a power, and they just dispatch them early. Now today, Miami, they sent a message in this first quarter, up 14 after 1. They're jumping on these teams early.
It's getting scary, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Lakers by 10 as Bryant slashes through, trying to follow his own shot. Slings it cross court to Rice. Now it's Shaq double teamed, and they just wrap him up. They had no other choice. And it's Weatherspoon who picks up his second foul. P.J. Brown is back in now, and it's Zoe on the bench.
That's a good foul. You can't let Shaq just go in there and dunk the basketball. Even though it gives Weatherspoon a foul and P.J. Brown has been in foul trouble, you still got to make him be able to step up and make some of these free throws. And he's shooting him much better, but that's much better than you make him dunking the basketball. And again here, Bob, look, it's going to be a work in progress. The first 47 games, 46%. Then he had that little streak, 76%. Then he went down to 42%, and you can see where he is now. So 58%. So it's not going to be a situation where he's got this mastered by any stretch. It's going to be up and down for him, and some days you got to test him out there.
He's 3 for 4 now in this game, but the Lakers get the rebound off the miss. And it's P.J. Brown who finally takes it after Shaq misses the turnaround. Rick Fox is in for Los Angeles. Glen Rice out. Los Angeles by 11. Weatherspoon double teamed. Doesn't get the roll. Robert Horry catch and shoot. Jamal Mashburn spinning to the hoop and scoring.
That's a nice play that time by Mashburn. Took his time, looked like he wanted to shoot the 3. When Fox closed out on him, he got in the lane. They cut this lead now down to 9.
O'Neal has his pass picked off by Mashburn. Mashburn doing it all.
Early offense. Remember what Riley told us yesterday. We've got to get some early offense. They've got a speed team on the floor right now. With Carter and Bowen picking up the floor, they're putting pressure now, forcing the Lakers a little bit out of their offense. That's what Portland did the other night when they were down 11 in the 4th and got back in the game.
8-1 Miami through the first 3 minutes of this period, and Bryant can't put an end to the Heat run. They're back to within 7. Weatherspoon was challenged, couldn't knock it down. Bryant takes it. Shaq with a touch pass to Fisher, who's open. After hitting 15 of 20 in the first quarter, the Lakers are 0 for 6 in this period. O'Neal takes the rebound over P.J. Brown. Kobe Bryant dumps it inside, and Rick Fox was fouled. It could have been a 3-point play. As it is, he'll shoot 2.
And a very unselfish play that time by Kobe Bryant. He had a 15-footer, gave it to Fox, who got fouled.
Doug Shaq has hit 4 today, and as we've mentioned, in general, he's on an uptick in terms of his free throw shooting. Let's contrast last year and this.
Well, you know, you see early what he was doing, and he said it was all concentration. It wasn't. Look at the technical difference here. On the right hand, look at the ball is on the heel of his hands, not on his fingertips. The adjustment he makes this year is he puts the ball up in his fingertips. So now he's got a position now with his left hand, instead of being all on the top of the ball, it's now off the ball, so he can get a softer, he can lift it, he can make it more of a one-hand shot. You see the left hand not involved at all. So when he was talking a lot about it being just concentration, whatever, 2 big technical flaws that he's worked to overcome. And Tex Winter has worked with him this year with it. Remember now, he started out 32 for 100, and now he's working himself back into respectability. If he starts getting into the 60%, he'll be illegal.
This from Doug Collins, who shot 83% from the line for his career and had one season over 90. After Rick Fox completes his stint at the line, it's the Lakers by 9, and P.J. Brown can't cut into it. Fox takes it. Quick outlet to Fisher. Kobe Bryant on the Laker bench at the moment. O'Neal against Weatherspoon, muscles up over him and can't connect.
Miami's got to get some baskets here. They're stopping them now. They've got to get something easy.
And it's O'Neal with the rebound off the Bowen miss.
They've had some good shots. Bruce Bowen, Anthony Carter just can't knock them down.
Mourning and Hardaway at the scorers table. They'll check in a moment. The bank is closed for Shaquille, but he gets it back and slams it through.
Now give Robert Horry an assist on that one. Although it will not show up in the books, he came in there and made a second effort to kick that ball loose over P.J. Brown, and Shaq gets the dunk.
11 for O'Neal. Mashburn with Fox on him. Hits it right in his face.
Well, Mashburn playing very, very good basketball. Took his time, knows that Rick Fox is not going to block his shot, but will strip it on the way up. So he made sure that he protected the ball, got the little jump shot.
Shaw to Fisher. Plays it off to O'Neal, who was fouled. And now let's watch that free throw form. It's P.J. Brown's third foul. He's already spent much of this first half on the bench after picking up 2 quick ones. Now he's hit with his third.
.647 in the second quarter, and you can see that Miami's made a conscious effort that when Shaq catches that ball, he's going to see 2 or 3 defenders. He spins against 3 guys and he misses the shot. The good defensive rebound. Once again going to that baseline. This time he tries to pass. It's picked off. The deep post position, the shot against 3 players. Good Miami Heat defense. This is the play Robert Horry just fought, kept it alive, and Shaq got the dunk. The problem is, Bob, Miami's not been able to convert this good defense into getting some offense to cut this lead down. Down 13 at the end of 1. It's only been whittled to 9, and Laker defense, excuse me, their offense has cooled off in this period.
Shaq has scored 11 points. He has 6 rebounds and 2 assists. He's averaging 27.8. The gap between him and the league's leader, Allen Iverson, has closed a bit. It's down to 2 points and a fraction. Iverson's at 29.7.
Bob, watch how he takes his left hand off the ball, takes it out of the shot, and it's a much softer shot. Now, when he misses, he has a tendency for the shot to get flat. But he's got a rhythm now. You can see him. He's comfortable. He gets that ball in the shooting pocket. That left hand, he tries to take it off the ball. He's got the ball in his fingertips. Much softer shot. Misses both of those. And that's why I said it's going to be a work in progress. And Robert Horry there with a careless play gets it back. And you know he's probably going to make that three. That just breaks your back.
And I'm looking across at Riley, who just buried his face in his hands a moment ago. You get a break. Shaq misses 2. You've got the ball. And you just hand them 3 points with the careless turnover, and then Horry drilling the 3-pointer. Here's Hardaway on the floater. Mourning follows and connects on the reverse.
Well, you know Miami is going to play tough. They've got to also play smart, and they cannot have those unforced errors. When you come in against a Laker team that is playing this kind of defense, you cannot give them points.
A whistle as O'Neal receives the pass. And it's on Zoe, which is his second.
Let's take a look at Shaq's last free throw here, Bob. As he got to the free throw line, you see the nice follow through. His left hand is off the ball. And again, the reason he missed those 2 free throws is his shot was very flat. Tex Winters talked to him. You've got to get some arch on your shot to make it a softer shot, give you some margin for error. That's a much softer shot. Did you see the trajectory of that one, Bob?
And he's now 4 for 7. Meanwhile, Brown has 3 fouls. Weatherspoon and Mourning each have 2. 1 of 2 for Shaq, who's liable to foul out Miami's entire front line.
And again, you notice that what has happened also to the Lakers know that Miami is a very, very good three-point shooting team. They have closed the shooters and given them situations where they've had to put the ball on the floor rather than to shoot the three-point shot. They've taken him out of that three-point shooting game right now.
That foul was Horry's first. Heat ball from the side. Here's Hardaway, who has only 1 field goal and 2 points. Mourning fumbled it, got it back, triple teamed, 1 second on the shot clock, and there's the buzzer.
And that's that Laker defense. They forced Hardaway in the lane. Looked like he might have had that little floater. Tried to make the pass to Zoe, who looked like he was in such big a hurry that he didn't catch the basketball, led to the violation.
Brian Shaw, who's been with 7 NBA teams plus a stint with Italy, brings it out of the backcourt. Now it's Rick Fox, left alone outside the arc.
So you got Horry off the bench now, shooting the ball with confidence. Rick Fox shooting the ball with confidence. Brian Shaw doing what he does. Derek Fisher. All of a sudden, a 5-man team's now 9.
Heat got within 7. Lakers have doubled that to 14. Weatherspoon. And O'Neal clears it.
Danger time right now for Miami. They need a stop. They're not a team that scores enough points to be able to come back from a big deficit.
Fox is short with it. Carter up top to Marley, who deals to Weatherspoon, but Horry's right on him. Here's Mourning. Good from the foul line.
Great offense. Had to all 5 guys touch the ball in that possession. It never hit the floor.
Fisher. It's a 2-pointer. He was just inside the line. His first basket. Mourning, who scored 12. Lost it. An offensive foul as Shaq went down. And that's 3 on Zoe.
How about Shaquille moving his feet? He knows Alonzo loves to go to that right hand. And the big man out here in Hollywood draws an Oscar for taking this charge. Look at him. Falls back. His hands are up. I've been smashed. Kobe's happy. And the Lakers up by 14.
Grooming. And when I started to wear good clothes when I was a young kid, I liked them. I used to come home and I used to iron my own shirts. I used to iron my own pants. I used to make sure my tie was, I mean, I liked going out looking good, and he made sure we went out looking good. My old man said, you're not leaving this house until the hair is right, until the face is right, until everything's right.
Pat Riley talks about his father, Lee, coming up at halftime. Right now, let's head back to the Staples Center and rejoin Bob, Doug, and Ahmad.
Bob, I had a chance to see that interview you did with Pat Riley before the game, and I know you guys developed a real nice friendship when you worked together on Showtime, and I think you brought out a real compelling side of Pat Riley that a lot of people don't know. I hope people will tune into that. That's a great, great interview.
His father, Lee, was a minor league baseball player, then became a manager and actually managed a young Tommy Lasorda, who's in the piece talking about Lee Riley.
See the matchup here between Zoe and Shaq, and you see it's relatively even. The problem is, Bob, 28 of 37 points in that first quarter was scored by the big 3 of the Lakers. 10 of 14 by the Laker bench in this quarter. So the minute you try to cool them off, the bench comes in now and is scoring. That's the scary part as this Laker team continues to grow.
Bryant's turnaround no good over Carter. Marley scoops up the loose ball. Heat trying to cut into a 14-point deficit. And Hardaway's cross-court pass intercepted by Rice. Bryant to Horry. And stolen back by Carter. A 3-on-1, but the one is Shaquille O'Neal, who picks up the foul. And that's his third.
This is what Miami has to do. They were able to force the turnover. This time Zoe running hard, and you could see Shaq was not going to give him one of those rim-rattling, powerful dunks that Zoe likes to get. Going to make him earn him at the free throw line, even though now Shaquille has 3 fouls.
Tonight, enter the 10th kingdom, a star-studded world where fairy tales are real. Anne Margaret, John Larroquette, Rutger Hauer, Ed O'Neill, Kimberly Williams, Cameron Manheim starring in the biggest miniseries event of a decade, it says again. Same thing as it said last week. I am compelled to point out this decade is barely 2 months old. Nevertheless, this is good stuff, folks. It's the 10th kingdom tonight at 9, 8 Central on NBC.
Bob, right now, Miami has got to make a stand and cut into this lead. With Shaq on the bench with fouls, they have got to get this thing under double digits, maybe 6, 7, 8 points at halftime. Make a dent in this lead as Shaq rests.
3 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the half. Is it possible he's done until the third quarter?
Yeah, I think that because he's playing against a center who can score, they're going to need Shaq with 3 fouls in that second half, not with 4. If he would come out and pick up a foul, that would really hamper what they would like to do. So Phil's got a lead. Right now is the time you do want to rest him because you do have a lead and a cushion that you're playing with right now.
Jackson's Chicago Bulls met Riley's Knicks and Heat combined 5 times in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They beat Riles 4 out of 5. Beat the Knicks twice, the Heat twice. The Knicks won in '94 with Michael gone 4-3. Mashburn. The rebound to Rice.
See, Miami's personality is not to drive that ball to the basket. They're a jump shooting team, and when they go cold, they hit a drought.
Harper takes it through the lane and a whistle.
See, one of the things, Bob, when Miami was looking to make a trade, come trade deadline time, what Pat Riley was looking for, all the guys you heard mentioned, were guys that could put the ball on the floor and create their own shot. Miami is very much a perimeter-oriented team. They dump it inside to Zoe. They kick it out and shoot a lot of threes, but they don't have a guy that can break you down on defense and get inside that lane and get to the foul line. That really hurts them. And you see it right there. Look where they are field goal percentage. They're a very good shooting team. Look what they do from 3. They're one of the best in assists. Look where they are points-wise. They don't get anything easy. They have to grind it out. They have to work so hard that it takes its toll after a while.
And they're milking a lot of the clock.
Absolutely.
So the total number of possessions is not as high as other teams.
Right, so when you look at their shooting, you say, why aren't their points up? It's because they don't get as many shots because they use so much of the clock.
And now they turn it over. Harper gives it right back. Bryant can afford to smile. His team is up by 15, compounding Pat Riley's woes. P.J. Brown, Alonzo Mourning, Dan Marley, all with 3 fouls.
And, we really haven't seen Kobe much on Hardaway. We've seen more of Ron Harper because Phil likes that matchup from Chicago, Miami before. So Kobe really hasn't had to play Hardaway much today.
Mashburn sliding inside. Ball pops free. The officials confer, and they give it to the Lakers. Well, Hardaway, who really hasn't done much today, after a good game Thursday against Gary Payton and the Sonics in a Miami win at home, 18 points and 8 assists. Hardaway's been pretty well handled by the defense of Harper.
Well, they've not let him penetrate. They've kept him out on the perimeter, and he's going to pass and he's going to run the offense, but they need him to score some points.
Sally with a bullet pass that Horry couldn't handle.
So Phil Jackson doesn't like that. Now he's got an opportunity, even with Shaq resting, to push this lead up to 17 or 18, and he's allowing Miami to hang around there. And their defense has been tremendous, 39 points, but they got a chance to push this to 20 right now.
If you're going to catch something thrown that hard, you better be wearing a glove. Hardaway. Loose ball chased to the side by Rice, who flips it back into Bryant. Horry, wide open 3.
Now remember, this guy had 41 points when he played for Houston, and they won a couple championships. He can shoot the ball. Phil wants him to shoot the ball. He wants him to play both ends. He knows he's a vital part of this team. Robert Horry has to be excited about that opportunity for this kind of team.
And with Shaq on the bench, the Laker lead has only grown. They're up by 18. Contact away from the ball.
Hustle plays. What do hustle plays give you? They give you opportunities on the offensive end. Glen Rice going into the corner for the loose ball. He kicks it to Kobe. Penetrating dribble. Robert Horry finds the open area and knocks in the 3-point shot.
Back live, Miami asked for a 20-second timeout. The foul a moment ago was on John Sally, and that was his first. Phil Jackson's team trying to win its 15th in a row, and if they get it, they've got a great chance to make it 16 because they're here tomorrow night against the Clippers. Miami, meanwhile, goes to Phoenix to play tomorrow.
Bob, you look at the Lakers' schedule, upcoming schedule, and they get ready to go on to an Eastern trip in about 3 or 4 more games, but they've got a chance. You see it right here at the Clippers, at Golden State, Sacramento, at Denver. They're favored in all those games. They win today, they go to 15. You're talking about they could be sitting on a 20-game win streak before they have to play at Detroit, at New York, and at Miami to finish off that road trip. But he knows, Phil, in talking to him today, Portland's not going to go away, and that #1 seed is going to be vital coming into the playoffs.
Mark Strickland and Dwayne Coswell in now for the Heat. And Strickland's shot is blocked. Harper barreling through the lane, got his own rebound, now surrounded and tied up. But he got a timeout before they could call a jump ball.
You know, Pete Bessie talked about this in the Showtime today. He said, you know, one of the guys we haven't talked about much, actually 2 of them have been Ron Harper and A.C. Green, both veteran players that bring championship experience. We've talked about the improvement of the bench, but you see A.C. Green there and Ron Harper. These guys are facilitators of this offense. They're the glue. They're the guys who've been around through the championships and understand the highs and lows. You see what Harper has done today. Terrific defense on Hardaway. 10 points that you don't expect. And how about that hustle play there, Bob? The ball goes up, it's in a crowd, 4 guys are around it, and Harper comes away with it. And a game his team was winning by 18.
Back to the Heat, you talked about some of the players they might have had interest in. Glen Rice was one of them. He, of course, began his career in Miami. Another was Tony Kukoc. J.R. Ryder's name came up. John Starks tried to get loose from Chicago, and an arbitrator turned him down, and I guess that case is being appealed as to whether or not he can be granted free agency and still be eligible for the playoffs if someone picks him up. But Miami hasn't gotten any of those guys.
And you can see that it's just hard for them to score points.
John Sally lets one go. Inside a minute.
Look who they have. I mean, Dwayne Coswell is not going to score. Bowen's not a scorer. You've got Mashburn. They're going to load up on him, double him, and force him to pass. And the ball will end up in a guy that has to shoot a jumper who's not a good shooter. That's just smart defense. When you're out there, you say, where can we help and where can't we? And the Lakers are doing that tremendously today.
Things are tricky these days in the NBA in terms of cap space and the moves you can and can't make. But some people think that Riley, the GM, hasn't given Riley, the great coach, enough to work with.
Well, there's no question, I'm sure, that Pat, when he looks at his team, says, you know what, I'd like to have a guy out there that can be a little more explosive and can score. But the thing about it is, all of them had to give up P.J. Brown, and he loves P.J. Brown. P.J. Brown to Miami is what Oakley was to New York when he coached that team. Pat loves those kind of players.
Well, he's a versatile guy, speaking of P.J. Brown. He's guarded everyone from Patrick Ewing to Michael Jordan. He's got Alonzo Mourning's back on the glass and defensively. Kobe spinning and coming up short. But another loose ball to the Lakers.
Got a 4-second differential here. They should work this down and try to get themselves a good shot going into halftime. Watch now Glen Rice shooting a 3 on this play, Bob. If Kobe penetrates and they help.
He's camped out in the right corner. Speaking of Rice, it'll be Bryant for 3. But they get another loose ball. Now they've got 3 seconds to get one off, and Ori was left unattended. That could have been another crusher. Small solace, though, for the Heat that he misfired because they still trail by 17. Ahmad Rashad is with Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, obviously, defensively, guys play extremely well. Obviously, a conscious effort of getting back quick, setting up defensively, not giving Miami any easy shots.
Yeah, well, we don't want Alonzo to post quick. He'll put our big man in easy foul trouble, so make it a considered effort to get back and not let him get that.
Offensively, moving the ball extremely well. Do you make any changes in the second half?
No, we just keep on playing and reading what they're going to do against us. We'd love to have that 3 down there at the end and put us up 20, but we'll live with it.
All right, good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks a lot. The Lakers arrived in a groove, and they've stayed in it, leading 57-40. And now stay tuned for Hannah Storm, Isaiah Thomas, and Peter Bessie in our New York studios with net 0 at the half. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Which takes too long to explain. That is restaurant quality lemonade. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Doug?
Well, let's talk about the trends in the first half, Bob. And it was all Los Angeles Lakers. And you can see I talked about the importance of the three-point shooting for Miami. Only 1 3-point shot. 5 for the Lakers. Hardaway 2 points. Out-rebounded them 26-18. And look at the supporting cast. 23 points. Bob, how dominant were the Lakers in that second quarter and the first half? 5 of 20 in the second quarter, and they still increased their lead. So the MVPs, East and West, going at it. You see them, the physical play, the aggressiveness, the passion, banging each other. Shaq taking the charge there, the hard foul. These guys both went at each other, and they both played exceptionally well. And you see Alonzo was terrific on a gimpy ankle. Shaquille O'Neal picked up his 3rd foul late. The big difference is supporting cast for the Los Angeles Lakers, and Zoe did not get that from his team.
So Zoe and the Heat trail by 17. Back to see if they can cut into it in a moment.
Ahmad Rashad back in Los Angeles where the Lakers lead Miami. And I was talking to Phil Jackson at halftime. He told his team the one thing that Miami will not do is they will not quit. So they got to keep the energy up. And the other thing they told him to look out for is when Alonzo Mourning goes to the bench, Mashburn will be the center of the offense. Pat Riley telling his team that they must play harder. They got to have better defense, stop the turnovers, and stop settling for jump shots, try to take the ball to the hole. Bob?
There's no question, regardless of the score, no Riley team is going to quit.
Well, again, I think that what the point there that Ahmad made that was great is you got to drive the ball to the basket. Too many outside jump shots. Only 9 free throws in the first half for the Miami Heat.
Alonzo Mourning getting his own rebound and being fouled.
Zoe is relentless inside the up fake. He gets bumped, and he's just going to come back with the play, get the offensive rebound, go up. Actually got stripped there, gets the foul call. But again, Ahmad said it that Phil Jackson told his team at halftime, this team will not quit.
Dustin Hoffman just stopping by to say hello to you, Doug.
Everybody's dropping off restaurant quality lemonade to you today. I don't know what's up with you, Bob. I'm not even going there. So
Dustin Hoffman arriving with the restaurant quality lemonade, just a tad late, but hey,
special delivery, and I got my water here, so I don't know.
Here's Rice with Mashburn on him. Shaq out of the double to Harper. Patiently working it around. 4 on the shot clock. It'll be Rice. Missed it badly. In fact, didn't draw iron, and it's a 24-second violation, or would have been, had Miami not gained possession. Just a fraction of a second before the buzzer sounded. Mashburn. Jamal Mashburn, whose father Bobby was a boxer, who at one time or another fought Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, and sparred with Muhammad Ali. Rice straightaway 3. O'Neal on the follow and a miss. Hardaway through the lane. Nice feed to Mourning.
There's a dribble penetration out of the double team, and although Hardaway didn't take the shot, he pulled the shot blocker to him. 2 good sequences in a row that time now for the Miami Heat, trying to get back into this game as they whittle it down to 12.
Kicked by Marley. And the Lakers keep it.
See, double team, you got to go down and help on Mashburn. And here's Hardaway, and he's going to drive that ball to the basket out of the double team. Shaq's going to step up to block the shot. Zoe goes right to the basket, and you get the easy score. That's why you've got to put the ball on the floor.
Jump hook, AC Green spills off.
Be interested to see if Miami scores here. Phil Jackson would take a timeout here. I don't think he likes what he sees with his team here. Normally, he lets them play through it.
The lead is 12. Harper slices through.
A little intangible. Von Harper, they need a basket. He drives in there. He sees the mismatch. P.J. Brown is playing him. Takes it right to the basket.
And an offensive foul against Miami.
When you get mismatches, you have to recognize them. Harper says he's got P.J. Brown on him. He's got foul trouble. Just drive the ball to the basket. Nobody helps. You get the easy layup.
Rice challenged almost the entire Miami defense. Back comes the Heat. Hardaway. Short with a 3. Flat-footed rebound to Harper. Looking for Shaq, who deals it outside to Bryant. Snaps it back underneath for AC Green, but a 3-second violation.
That was a very unselfish play, but AC Green thought he was going to shoot the ball, so he got up on the offensive board. And anytime you make that extra pass, the referees are always going to call you for that 3-second violation. Bob, they'll give you 1 pass. They won't give you 2.
Hardaway, a 20-point scorer 2 or 3 years ago, down to 13.5 this year. Still trying to grit his way through, but not the player he once was.
See how they're chasing him off that 3, Bob, not giving him any good looks. That time Mashburn with a hand in his face, but they know that the 3 is a vital part of Miami's offense. So anytime that ball is swung, they close out and make them drive the ball. Marley's only had about 1 good open shot the whole game.
Bryant reached in after P.J. Brown got the offensive rebound, and Kobe commits his 3rd foul. Mourning. The rebound to Shaq. Kobe drives through, and then his pass can't be handled by O'Neal. A Laker turnover. P.J. Brown's open. Well, the Heat has had chances, and now they'll have another as Harper dribbles it off his foot. They've had chances to cut in to the Laker lead, and they just haven't hit open shots.
Well, and one of the things that the Lakers do with their defense, and we've talked about a lot through their games, is they're going to force you to shoot jump shots, get a hand in the face, and only give you 1 shot. They're not going to give you offensive rebounds in that first half. Only 3 offensive rebounds for Miami, so when they're missing, they're not getting any second opportunities.
Hardaway spins one home. And again, it's a 12-point lead. Harper around Green's screen. Brown takes him on a switch. Shaq against Mourning, who fouled him.
Hardaway is not doing it, Bob, with quickness anymore. He's doing it with guile, and he gets inside in that little high floater, a little tough shot. I love for young guards to learn to shoot that shot. I always got that giant killer. The big men try to block it, and it's usually a goaltend. But you know what? When watching Hardaway play, it sort of makes me ache a little bit, because you can see what the competitor is inside this guy, but you can also tell he doesn't have that same bounce. He's got the same pride, and when you start hurting when you play, it takes a lot of that passion that you have for the game away. I've seen that with great players through their careers where they're in so much pain playing, it takes that joy and love. This guy is the ultimate gym rat. He would play at any time in Chicago all day long, and you can just see him laboring now to try to play the game that he loves.
He's 33 years old. He is a member again of the Olympic team, set to play in Sydney in September. You know that they're probably dying to get Vince Carter on that team. In retrospect, they probably regret leaving him off. Now, no one's going to take a healthy Tim Hardaway off an Olympic team. But if he's struggling, and if a case could be made for him to step aside, that's your opening for Vince Carter.
Well, I think if you look at that Olympic team, you know, it's chosen 2 years ahead of time. There's three or four guys on that team right now who are not nearly at the peaks that are playing as well as they did a couple of years ago. So Vince Carter would definitely be a tremendous addition, but not at the expense of somebody to have to take off that team.
Kobe Bryant back. A moment ago, Mourning committed his 4th foul. P.J. Brown steps into the passing lane and picks that one off. Mourning is on the bench for the moment. Hardaway. Mashburn into the lane, has to arc it over O'Neal and can't hit it.
Ron Harper saw him get a little bit out of sync. Told Glen Rice, give me the ball. Now they're going to take a timeout. Phil's going to talk about that's the steadying influence of Ron Harper.
Jackson's team a little out of sync here in the 3rd quarter. Miami unable to capitalize. There's been a time in memory when the Lakers weren't a hot ticket, but they're hotter now than they've been in a while. Dustin Hoffman, who stopped by to drop off a lemonade a while ago. Evander Holyfield on hand. Jim Carrey. And season ticket holder Diane Cannon, who never misses a game. Enjoying some restaurant quality popcorn, apparently.
You know, Bob, it's amazing, too. Look at the first quarter start. 15 of 20, 75%. The Lakers are up 14. Since then, they've shot 6 for 26, and they still have a 14-point lead. That's when you talk about defense. Your defense locking in and holding on to the great start, even through bad shooting.
Jump hook by Shaq, no good. And P.J. Brown manages to tip it over to Mashburn. Shot clock down to 6. Got to get one away. 2 seconds to shoot. Air ball, 24-second violation. What's up with that possession?
Well, I was going to say that's a bad possession. Coming out of a timeout, you normally don't see that. What ended up happening was Tim Hardaway spent so much time on the dribble, the play was late developing, and then it got into a guy's hands that could not create his own shot. So that's a bad possession trying to get back into the game.
P.J. Brown on Shaq. Mashburn over on the double. Cross court to Harper for 3. A.C. Green couldn't find the handle. Mashburn does. Mashburn to Weatherspoon. Someone reached in and fouled him. It's on Kobe Bryant, his 4th. Next Saturday, the 2nd stop on the PGA Tour's Southern Swing, the Honda Classic. Scheduled to compete. Davis Love III, John Daly, and more as the PGA Tour moves to Fort Lauderdale. That's the Honda Classic. Coverage begins next Saturday at 3 Eastern on NBC.
How about Jim Furyk's come from behind win today, beating Franklin Langham? I tell you, it's tough when you got those guys chasing you and you've never won before to hold on. He had a big lead, and Jim Furyk just kept grinding away. Good win for him today.
Ryan Shaw just back in, brings it to the front court. Now it's Harper, guarded by Marley. O'Neal, before he could get the shot away, a whistle. A Miami foul with 4:46 to play in the 3rd. And it's P.J. Brown's 4th.
Shaq is so good at positioning himself. Now, as that ball is being swung around, he's getting himself such deep post position. By the time the ball is in there, the defender can do nothing but foul him. So he's preparing himself as the ball is being swung around the perimeter. Right there he is once again. Look how deep he is. That's too late, Coach. Too late.
16 for Shaq. Zoe a spectator at the moment. P.J. Brown fouled on his way to the hoop.
Shaquille O'Neal, look how deep he is here in the post. And once he gets it in there, he's going to play out of that double team. He kicks it out, and then he reposts once again. Now look how deep in the paint, turns, and he's right at the basket for a little 6-foot shot. So as he kicks it out, rather than standing, he's working hard to repost so he can get it even closer to the basket.
P.J. Brown, whose real name is Collier Brown Jr., and the P.J. stands for nothing in particular, makes one of two after Glen Rice's third foul. O'Neal and Marley with the rebound. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Bob, you know, PJ does stand for something in particular. His mom started calling him PJ because his favorite sandwich was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So therefore, PJ.
Oh, wait a minute. Is his middle initial B? Shouldn't it be PB and J?
No, peanut butter is one word.
Oh, it is? I got to check the jar. Brown is 6'11". He weighs 240. He says that sometimes he eats as many as 6 meals a day, drinks protein shakes, and still eats those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches late at night trying to pack on the pounds. Rice looking for daylight, forcing it over Mashburn and hitting it.
That was great defense, just better offense. Glen Rice just took his time till he finally got his feet together where he could get the balance on his shot. How disappointing this must be for Pat Riley. His team, since the first quarter, has played tremendous defense. They have just not been able to find a way to get any offensive surge. They still trail by 16. And Glen Rice, again, we've talked about him. He's a very underrated low-post player. In Charlotte, we saw a lot of this. He hits it, too. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Lakers led by 17 at the half, up by 16 now. Miami ball after the timeout. Shaw's got Hardaway, who has it back now from Marley. And hits the baseline J.
Vintage Tim Hardaway. He leans into you, does that little step back jump shot, cleared himself with space from Bryant Shaw, and was able to shoot over the bigger defender. So they've worked themselves back to 14, Bob. Can they make a closing surge here and get it to under double digits?
Weatherspoon on Shaq, who deals it back to Shaw, and Shaw with a three-pointer. His first basket of the game. Hardaway behind the back to Weatherspoon. His jumper isn't there. P.J. Brown swatted it away as Shaw tried to hook up with Shaq. Mourning's on the bench with 4 fouls. P.J. Brown has 4 fouls. Riley has no choice but to have the much smaller Weatherspoon guard Shaq. Rice's jumper. And Brown clears it. Left alone in the corner is Mashburn.
Now that's Miami's game. They're shooting the three. Bob, I said before they needed about 21 plus points from behind the three. That's only their second three-pointer. They have 6 points from behind the line. But how about this? The Lakers 6 of 14, 18 points. And on the season, they're a 33% shooting three-point team.
Ron Harper has it rejected by P.J. Brown.
These are the little things that P.J. Brown brings. The shot blocking off the ball. He can guard Shaq a little bit to give Zoe a little bit of a break. Right now you've got Weatherspoon matched up against him.
Harper got it from Rice, and Brown picked up his 5th foul.
When you play in a system where all 5 guys touch the ball, it lends itself to guys being very unselfish because you know you're going to touch it. Again, Glen Rice at the 3-point line. We've seen Kobe do it before. Pass up a shot to give it to a guy closer to the basket. And Bob, if you're standing out in the offense and you don't touch it much, sometimes when you do touch it, you want to shoot it.
Harper's free throw makes it 69-54. AC Green out. Robert Horry in. Mark Strickland back in. Veteran from Temple. Riley with no choice but to bring him on. P.J. Brown picking up his 5th foul. So Brown and Mourning are both on the bench right now.
And look how small their team is out there. I mean, you talk about Mark Strickland is your center, and he's about 6'7", it looks like. I don't know what they list him at. He's 6'7" and very lean. So big challenge now for Miami.
Weatherspoon with Shaq on him. Get that mess out of here. And Rice is fouled as he receives the pass by Hardaway.
When you've got a good shot, you can't pass it up. Weatherspoon had a 15-footer. Thought, you know what? I'll try to drive it and get it closer to the basket. And he drives it right into the power and shot blocking of Shaquille O'Neal. Shoot that little jump shot. And the next time down the floor, you saw Glen Rice posting up Hardaway, and all he could do was just take the foul.
Shaq is 3rd in the league in block shots. Alonzo Mourning is 1st. Dikembe Mutombo of the Hawks is 2nd. Next Saturday, NBA Inside Stuff, co-hosted by Ahmad and Summer Sanders, will feature the Raptors' Tracy McGrady. McGrady talks to Ahmad about his style of play and his team's goals for the postseason. That's Inside Stuff next Saturday. Check your local listings for the time in your area. And let's check with Ahmad, who knows all about it.
All right, Bob, one thing I think a lot of people don't know about Tracy McGrady is his best friend is Kobe Bryant. He came out last summer, spent some time with Kobe, said he looks up to Kobe because Kobe is worldly. I asked Kobe about that. He said he's a young fella, and, you know, he'd love to get a chance to play with him, but he doesn't think that will ever happen. But Tracy McGrady, a great young player.
Now, Ahmad, if Kobe is what, aged at 21, is that what the deal is?
Yes.
Where's this league going? You're old at 21.
I was grandfatherly.
Mashburn's jumper gives him 17. But the Heat are down 16. O'Neal deals it outside to Shaw, who pops an air ball. Hardaway on the wing, looking underneath for Strickland, who scores.
That's the way Strickland scores. He scores on the offensive boards, running the floor, and Tim Hardaway, a nice pass there in on the fast break. He just catches it and lays it in the basket. So those are the things that Hardaway brings just with his leadership and his experience.
O'Neal, little jump step, goes to the left hand. The ball pops out of bounds, and it was touched last by the Lakers. Last 25 seconds of the third quarter.
Well, Anthony Carter was going to check in on that play, and I think that the reason he didn't was Pat Riley wanted to keep Tim Hardaway on the floor in case he could shoot a 3 here. They're going to get to the last shot. Maybe they'll sprace the floor, and maybe Hardaway might get a 3-point opportunity.
Here's Weatherspoon, got to shoot it, and a whistle as he makes his move through the lane. 2 seconds on the shot clock. 3.7 on the game clock. That's number 4 on Shaq. By the way, Glen Rice has scored 19 points today. He had been in a slump since the trading deadline passed. Everybody thought that with the pressure being removed and the uncertainty being removed, that he would surge. In fact, He had shot the ball a lot better in the days leading up to the trading deadline. He'd been averaging only about 12 a game since. Today, as you see, he shot the ball well, and he has 19.
Well, you know, sometimes when your name is mentioned out there, you get a little edge to yourself. Always say, you know what, then I'm not going to let them get rid of me. I'm going to play well enough to where they're not going to be able to do that. And, you know, I'm not so sure how they were looking to get rid of him anyway, because they need that shooting, Bob. One of the things that the Lakers really struggle with, you take Glen Rice off this team, they're a very poor perimeter shooting team. Everybody else is very, very streaky. They need him to play well.
The pass is broken up. Marley will try to beat the buzzer on the run. Got it away in time, but didn't hit it. That could have made it a 10-point game. Here's the way the center matchup has gone. But more importantly, the scoreboard reads Lakers 72, Heat 60. And we'll be back for the fourth quarter after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
For the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Lakers had 37 points in the first quarter, a combined 35 points in the two periods since.
Well, again, we talk about Miami defense. They're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. They only have 37 in that period of time. But the key was at the end of that third period, Bob, they went on a 6-0 run, so they cut it from 18 to 12. Still within striking distance, but they've got to heat up their shooting again. I still think they've got to make some three-point shots. That's such a critical part of their offense.
Travis Knight makes his first appearance at the center spot for the Lakers. Shaq on the bench for the moment with 4 fouls. He scored 16 points. Speaking of O'Neal.
Now, this is a team you got to cut into right now. If you're Miami, you look out there who they have. Who's going to score?
Fisher into the lane, switches to the right hand and misses, and Weatherspoon takes it. Well, they only trail by 12, and they got 12 minutes to do something about it. Offensive foul on the rookie Anthony Carter.
No place to go. You got to look up, Bob. You get to that foul line. If there's nothing going for you, you got to pull that back out. And Anthony Carter had his head down. One thing on his mind, I'm going to the basket. You see that he loses contact with the vision on the floor, and he just runs right over Rick Fox. Pat Riley says, goodness gracious, we got a chance to get back in this game, and we turn it over.
Bryant tonight, his first shot is rebounded by Carter, and a whistle from Greg Willard as they try to come out of the backcourt. It's Robert Ory's second foul.
Well, he just grabbed the Miami Heat player as he tried to run out on the fast break, so he takes the foul. But as you look out here with Miami right now, they've got to go through either Weatherspoon or Mashburn right now. Maybe get a double team, maybe Marley or somebody can spot up and shoot a three-point shot. But those are their two primary weapons right now.
Carter catch and shoot. Knight the rebound. Fisher. And a Miami foul. 10:38 to play in the game. The Heat with time to get back in. Part of the problem is the Lakers with a lesser lineup on the floor, but Riley, saddled by fouls to Mourning and Brown, can't really counter with his best squad.
Well, that's why I said on that last possession, you've got to get the ball to Weatherspoon or Mashburn. That's where Tim Hardaway knows what you got out there. Anthony Carter, a young point guard, doesn't understand that right now. He hasn't been in the league long enough. Hardaway would know, I got to get the ball to my scorers. That's, again, what Hardaway brings to this team as we see Zoe coming back in. But the experience of knowing, Bob, it's a game of mismatches, the NBA. Where do you have the advantage and go to that?
Mourning and Shaq each came back in after the first free throw by Fisher. Leads back to 14.
You see, Phil Jackson says, look, I'm not going to let him come back with Zoe and be able to attack an inferior player inside. I'm coming back with my guy Shaq, too, so I at least have a little defensive presence.
Carter returns it to Mourning. His fadeaway isn't there. O'Neal's turn. Loose ball scooped up by Strickland. Mourning with a long one. And badly overshot it.
Wide left.
Here's O'Neal, just 2 for his last 11. Gets it back from Bryant. They work it around the perimeter, and Rick Fox can't hit it. Miami will have it with 9:33 to play in the game, and still with a 14-point hill to climb. Lately, Coach, they're making it almost too easy. There's not much excitement in the building because they're not being challenged.
Well, you know, we saw that a lot in Chicago. The team got such where teams would come in and they just couldn't even put up a good fight against the Bulls when they were in their heyday in the United Center. And right now the Lakers playing at that same kind of level this year. Now, I'm not saying it's the Chicago Bulls, but I'm talking about against their opponents where they're coming in, jumping them early, and really taking this crowd out of the game. Sort of quiet in here. People are sort of expecting what they're seeing now.
O'Neal got inside but couldn't finish it. He was fouled, however, and he'll come to the free throw line. Well, Phil Jackson, who's been known to speak his mind, commented after they went up to Portland, and it was a tremendous atmosphere. Both teams with 11-game winning streaks. They had identical records coming in atop the Pacific Division. He said the atmosphere there was electric, and we need something closer to that here. And one of his comments was they need to turn down the lights in the audience, as he put it, and just put the spotlight on the floor so the fans stop looking for famous people in the crowd and start watching the game. One of 2 for Shaq. Mourning with the rebound and an immediate Laker foul. It's Rick Fox, and it's his first.
Well, at what point now does Pat Riley come back in with Tim Hardaway and Dan Marley and make one last surge to get back into this game? They've got a tough game in Phoenix at some point in time, but they've got to think about trying to win that basketball game too, not giving up at all. But you make your one surge to see if you can get back into it.
Here's Strickland, and Bryant clears it.
Kobe's been quiet, Bob. 3 out of 7 for the game. He had 3 out of 8. He had 7 points all in the first quarter. Has not scored since.
Shaq returns it to Fox for 3. Horry gives them a fresh 24. Here's Kobe, and hold on, says Bennett Salvatore. Something that Bryant will give you, though, even if he doesn't score. He's averaging more than 22 a game. He can guard a quick guard, as you mentioned at the beginning of the game. He can guard a small forward and put the clamps on either one. And very often he is, in effect, their point guard.
And what he also does, too, is he'll break you down just like he did and get in the lane. And he's not forcing shots now. He's not looking to get his points. What about the pass by Shaq out of the double teams with a cutting Horry? But the maturation process of Kobe is, you know what, he's got 7 points, but he's not looking to get his 20 or whatever. The win is the most important thing right now, and he's playing great defense.
Mourning draws triple coverage. Carter on the move, got his own rebound. Here's Strickland.
See, none of these guys can make jump shots. Strickland, Carter, they want to drive the ball to the basket. Bowen, and what time does Pat Riley? Here he comes with Hardaway, maybe Marley, but he's got to get a shooter on the floor.
Horry wide open. Can't drain the 3. So through a crowd, finds Bowen, and he finds the bottom of the net with a 3-pointer. Miami hanging around but never making a serious move. They trail by 12. Riley's going to bring Hardaway and P.J. Brown back in a second. O'Neal misses over the double team. Mashburn to Strickland. Had it knocked away cleanly. Here comes Kobe. He's got Fox on his right. Tried to do it himself and drew the foul.
Well, you talked about the effect that Kobe Bryant has on this game. Looks like got a chance to cut it to 10 to steal. Now he's shooting 2 free throws to push it back to 14.
So sports becomes the ultimate.
Alonzo Mourning, in his first game back after missing 3 with an injured ankle, has played well personally, but his team trails by 12, and Kobe Bryant's about to try to make it more.
Well, we've praised the Laker defense and how terrific it has been today, and you have to talk about the Miami defense. Bobby, talk about the 2 big guns for the Lakers are 8 for 25 in this game, Shaq and Kobe. So their defense has been as good as the Lakers. The big thing is they have not been able to find other guys step up and score some points. That's been the whole difference in this game, is that the Lakers supporting cast has found a way. Miami has not been able to do that.
Speaking of the centers, Shaq with 17 points, 11 rebounds. Mourning 17 points, 9 rebounds. Hardaway to P.J. Brown. Nice play.
Oh, great pass that time by Tim Hardaway. Just led him beautifully to the basket. All P.J. had to do is in one motion just drop it in.
Tim Hardaway, one-time first-team All-NBA, perennial All-Star. Still a very good player when he's right. He's just not right all that often, given his history of injuries. That's Hardaway tipping the rebound over to Mashburn.
And what Hardaway would do, he would come down at the most critical times and shoot a 3 on you, just like right now. That'd be the time he'd pull that thing back and shoot a 3.
That time his pass is deflected and stolen. John Sally in for the moment for Shaq. Rice, big size advantage over Hardaway, and immediately he goes to work.
Well, the awareness again. I've talked so often about Glen Rice. When he was in Charlotte, they used to run a lot of screens to get him the ball on the post, and he loved to post up. And he's a very good post player. We don't see that much here, but this time now with Shaq out of the game, they go to him on the block. They try to get the double team. It is too late, and Glen Rice, with that little sweet shooting touch, falls back and knocks in the jump shot. See, that's the big 3 we talk about. 8 for 26 for Shaq and Kobe. Look at Glen Rice today. He's come through with 21 points. So when one of those 2 guys or both of them are struggling, that's where the Glen Rice comes through. That's why they need his points, his offense.
Now here's a Laker team that's lost, 11 games, and 6 of those 11 defeats came in one 9-game stretch. At their present pace, they'd win 67, 68 games. They're sneaking up on people with something that could turn out to be, if they can sustain this pace, one of the half-dozen or so best regular seasons in NBA history.
Well, that guy you just saw on the screen, Shaquille O'Neal, I give him the ultimate credit because everybody said this team was going to get off to a slow start. Kobe was out with a hand injury, and he carried this team through the first part of this season to get them off to a great start.
Zoe from Hardaway can't convert the jump hook.
Remember, Kobe missed 15 games, and Shaq was unbelievable in those games.
John Sally hands it to the cutting Bryant, who circles back outside. Now Kobe on the move.
He went from one side of the floor, underneath the basket, wheeled around and came into the lane with a 1-foot floater. That's the guy who was 3 for 9 before he took that shot.
P.J. Brown had daylight, didn't take it. Five on the shot clock. And the three-pointer is long by Mashburn. Whistle on the rebound. And it's on P.J. Brown, and if that's the case, I think he's fouled out.
Working without the basketball, Kobe Bryant goes from one side of the floor. He gets a handoff, tight ropes, gets P.J. Brown on him, turns his shoulder, gets into the lane, and shoots the high floater. The young guy doesn't lack for confidence.
And P.J. Brown is done with 4:43 to play in the game. He was in foul trouble right from the get-go. He had 2 quick ones right at the outset of the game, had to sit out a long portion of the first quarter, and now he's finished.
Well, it really hurts when he went down with foul. You see Pat Riley, and you know, I know it's been a long time since he's been back in LA and won the championships, but you can bet that every time he comes back here, the pride that this man has coming in with his team. And Bob, I think this has been one of his better coaching jobs. If you look at his team, with the injuries they've gone through and some of the talent that they have, He's got Zoe, who I think is the MVP in the East, that carries this team. But this man's indomitable spirit and will, and what he brings competitively to this team, he will not let his team lose. And I have the ultimate respect for what he does with this team.
Well, he won 4 titles here in his first 7 years as Laker coach. In his next 10 years as an NBA coach, finishing up in LA and then with the Knicks and the Heat, he hasn't won a championship. But remember, when he went to New York, they were a woeful team. He immediately made them competitive and came within one play, one shot here or there, of winning the NBA title in 1994. The Heat had never done anything till he got here. There. We're in Los Angeles now. He got them over 500 the first year, and they've won the Atlantic Division the next 3 years and lead it right now. The problem, though, has been they've been knocked out in the first round of the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, and that's been a great disappointment. Let's check with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Just to add on to that point, the Miami Heat starting 5 has been together for just 18 times this season. You guys were talking about all those injuries. 18 times they've had the starting 5 together.
And today, one of his starters, P.J. Brown, manages to be on the floor only 19 minutes. 3 points, 4 rebounds before fouling out.
And another one of his free agent signings, Otis Thorpe, is on the injured list with a knee problem. Here's a guy who's 6'10", and his career has been a power forward and played very well. So minus another big guy who's a big part of the rotation.
Offensive foul. Lakers will get it back. And that's 5 on Alonzo Mourning.
Zoe was working so hard to get low post position on Sally. He threw the ball out of the double team and tried to repost. And watch him when he does. He sort of dips that shoulder. When you do, they're calling that this year, that's dislodging. If the defense can't put the hands on, you cannot use your shoulder to free yourself.
John Sally with a fadeaway. Mourning might have gotten a small piece of it.
I think John had a Detroit flashback there.
He's been with championship teams in Detroit and in Chicago. And if nothing else, his timing is impeccable. He might wind up with another ring taken along for the ride in Los Angeles. And John Sally is done for the time being. Shaq returns. Hardaway fires.
See, he can still make big shots. And Bob, I just don't know how many times I've seen him come down in a big game, get that last minute or whatever, you need a basket, he'll come at you, pull up and shoot that 3. A lot like Larry Bird used to do, just almost say this is it.
Here's Derek Fisher. And a 17-point game with 3.5 minutes left as we watch Hardaway bring it out of the backcourt. Remember how great that crossover dribble has been through the years. They used to call it the UTEP two-step when he came out of Texas El Paso.
And we talked to him about that yesterday, and because of the new rule about calling, carrying the basketball, how often have we seen the crossover dribble used this year? We haven't seen it much from Iverson. Really, the only guy who does use it a lot is Jason Williams.
The foul a moment ago on Glen Rice was his 4th. Miami asked for time, 3:17 left. They trail by 17. The game at Seattle, they plan to have teammates and opponents on the floor at the same time, so that'll be something to look forward to.
Well, he made another sensational play at the end of the game today to help beat Vancouver, so they start a Western road trip, Toronto, with a big win against their dreaded rival from Canada, Vancouver. So emotional win here to start the trip.
Alonzo Mourning still working hard, and Shaquille O'Neal climbing all over him. That'll be 5 on Shaq.
I tell you, Bob, if there's one thing that I wish that young players could see today, right now, at this particular point in time, is Alonzo Mourning and Shaquille O'Neal. Look at these two guys, two of the best players in the game, arguably both of them MVPs in their selective conferences. Look how hard they're playing to the finish. And I just think that says so much about the competitive spirit and the pride both these guys have in their jobs to play the entire 48 minutes regardless of the score. And again, you see neither one of them had great shooting games, but look at the other things they've done. Rebounding, and Shaq today has 6 assists also to go with that.
Zoe is averaging 22.5 points and about 10 rebounds. Shaq 28 points and just over 14 rebounds. whistle as Kobe Bryant starts his move. Doesn't get that much easier for the Heat tomorrow when they go to Phoenix. After this game, they'll be sub 500 on the road for the year.
And Phoenix is playing very, very well right now. Rodney Rogers is playing terrific off that bench. Sean Marion is back from injury. Jason Kidd has been playing great. And Phoenix now all of a sudden has worked themselves into that 4th position in the West. They now have a home court in the 1st round. So things are starting to heat up here as teams are starting to make their push, you know, going into the playoffs. But you see Miami, they had Phoenix you talked about, then at Indiana, Milwaukee, Philly at home. Neither one of those games will be easy. Denver's a team that can score a lot of points, so it's not going to get any easier for Miami.
You know, talking about Riley and Jackson, 2 of the great coaches of all time. Jackson 6 titles in Chicago. Riley with 4 of the 5 that the Lakers won in the 1980s. Mourning looking to work on Shaq. Fisher there to help with a double. It's out to Carter, and the rookie knocks it down. Sometimes you do your best coaching job, or one of your best, without a ring to show for it. To get the Knicks out of the doldrums to where they were and close to a championship, to resurrect Miami, that took some doing. And think about Phil Jackson in '94, the first year that Jordan went off to play baseball. They came close to going back to the finals again without the game's greatest player, Kobe Bryant, from the head of the key.
I couldn't agree with you. I thought maybe Phil's best coaching job was that year when Michael did leave, that he took that team back to where they eliminated by New York. But the team was tremendous that year with Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen.
Bruce Bowen with a 3 that goes into the too little too late category. Rice missing over Mashburn. Mourning puts it on the floor, bounces off Shaq, and throws in the hook.
All on a bad ankle. I talked to him before the game. Bobby said his ankle was weak. He didn't feel like he could jump off of it. He felt a little unstable. I said, "Are you going to play?" And he said, "Are you kidding me? This is a game my team needs me. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to play and give it all I have." And he has done that today.
20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists for him in a losing cause. Rice with a nice feed from Shaquille O'Neal. And that is Shaq's 7th assist. To go with 17 points and 11 boards. Mourning was fouled. He'll have a chance to add to his point total with 1:11 on the clock. You know, while we have a chance, I'm trying to ward off some letters that might be coming my way. I was watching the tape of last week's game because I have nothing better to do than torment myself. And there seemed to be some confusion regarding Pig Miller and the use of the term or word bovine or porcine. Now, bovine refers to cattle, porcine to pigs. I knew that when I overslept at Syracuse and missed that animal husbandry class, it would come back to haunt me, and it has.
Well, there's a look at Shaquille O'Neal as he sits down, and again, not one of his better offensive days, but he did pass the basketball, rebound, and give them that interior defense that they desperately need if they want to win a championship. And Shaq has got to get himself ready now tomorrow night for those Clippers.
Miami's game at Phoenix will be on TBS tomorrow night. And the Raptors and the Trailblazers as well. Northwest swing for Toronto. We'll see them next Sunday at Seattle.
I'm looking forward to that. My dear friend Brian James is the assistant now at Toronto, and it'll be fun to watch his team play. And Vince Carter, the team is playing great basketball. They've gone to the big backcourt with Tracy McGrady and Doug Christie, and Carter has worked very, very well. And Glen Rice, as he leaves the game here, a big round of applause. He really sort of took up the slack offensively today when Kobe and Shaq did not shoot the ball the way they normally do.
Rice with 23 is the Lakers' high scorer today. Kobe, after the free throws, has 15. Inside a minute. Here's Bruce Bowen scoring. Devin George makes his first appearance, the rookie from Augsburg. He's number 3 in the Laker lineup. Travis Knight also on the floor. Kobe the only starter out there right now. He'll shoot it and miss the 3. The Lakers come up with a steal. Last 20 seconds. Derek Fisher just letting the time tick away.
They really have to shoot here, Bob. There's a discrepancy of about .2, so somebody's going to have to shoot it. It's not going to be looking like they're going to run up the score, but otherwise it's going to be a violation, so he has to take that shot.
Devin George tried to get his name in the scorebook and couldn't. It bounces out of bounds with 4 seconds to play. Randy Newman's I Love L.A. blares over the PA system, and as Pat Riley walks off, he's got to be thinking, that's less true for me now than it used to be. We'll be back to the Staples Center in a moment. The Lakers win it 93-80. They broke out in front big in the first quarter, and they were never threatened.